comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's all right.
The Mighty 790 and 104.7 KFGO. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. Welcome back to The Drive. I'm Dan Michaels. Paulie Lines at the con. Paul Jurgens, the KFGO News Center. KFGO time is 4:10. What's our temp in town, Paulie?
Right now, 76 beautiful degrees.
76 here at our studios off 25th Street in downtown Fargo. Are we downtown? Are we uptown? Are we south?
Sort of central town.
South Fargo?
South Fargo, yeah.
It's 77 where we are. Hey, good afternoon, and thank you so very much for joining us. Well, last week, I got to tell you, I was a little surprised to see that Andrea Larson has announced her resignation from KVOY, Valley News Live, and moving out of broadcasting. And just after talking to her on the phone, just before we go on, it turns out that this was in the works for a little bit of a while here. Andrea's last day was on Friday. And so she's already done. Let's find out more about what's going on with Andrea Larson and what she's going to be doing. She's very, very young to be quitting. Let's welcome Andrea Larson back to KFGO. Hi, Andy. How you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. You mean you care about the fact that I'm sitting on my deck reading a book?
Oh, and everyone's jealous on this beautiful 77-degree day.
Oh,
You're too young to have quit.
Nice. Well, sometimes you just have to make those sacrifices and switch careers in order to, have better quality time with your family. So that's what I did.
I read your statement, and that's what you said. I liked your comment about, mom's going to be home before 11 o'clock every night. So, Andrea, was that the impetus? Can you tell us, if you don't mind sharing some of your private thoughts with us, what went into the process, and when did you start thinking about perhaps walking away from Valley News Live?
Well, you think about it every once in a while over the years, and then as some great project comes up that you want to work on, and then you kind of shove it aside, and then it emerges again a little bit later, kind of off and on. Sometimes, you just have that thought, and but then it took root a little bit more during COVID. COVID hit, and it was like, oh my goodness. I think it changed, as I mentioned in the article, it changed perspectives for a lot of people, and it did for me. And all of a sudden, I decided I needed to make the move, and so it was tough. It was a hard decision, but yet it was easy. It's always tough to walk away from people you love and a place you love and doing what you love. But you can do what you love in a different fashion. Just at a different job, and then improve your family life at the same time. I gave, I think, almost nearly a month notice, but, the station was keeping it close to the vest, so I did too. And I think I saw a comment on Facebook that someone said, what, you gave like a week notice? I'm like, no, silly boy. I gave about a month notice, but I just, I guess word did not leak out.
Well, and that's pretty rare. Especially at a television station, that word did not leak out. But the word finally did get out last week that Andrea Larson, our guest here this afternoon on KFGO, has decided to depart the broadcasting business. Now, Andrea, I'm giving you a bad time about being a young lady and quitting, but are you going into another profession, or are you going to be doing something else?
Well, I do have a background of public relations and communications marketing. So I have always said through the years that when I leave TV, I will go back to that. And so that's the path that I'm taking right now, reaching out to people. And there are some great companies reaching out to me, too, so I so appreciate that. I'm in the process of figuring out what's out there and what to do about it. Yeah, i.e. sharpening up that resume.
Yeah. Well, Andrea, I would think anybody in business would be very proud to have you as their media spokesman, their PR, their
You're so kind.
Front. Well, I've known you for a long time. I think you'd be a pro's pro at that. And, Andrea Larson is one of those rare people who, for some reason, those of us in media can tick other people off, our competitors, stuff like that. And I'm sure I have, and I'm sorry, but I probably did, and I didn't mean to. But Andrea is not one of those people. She's loved by everybody. No competitors, just friends out there, and no enemies. And so I would imagine that anybody would be very, very pleased to have someone like you in their organization, Andrea.
Oh, you're so sweet. I'm probably going to have to hit you up for a recommendation. I'm kidding.
Well, you
but
just
that's
got
really
it.
kind. Well, but you know what? I don't know. You don't have to. You can be friends with people in the business and still be competitive with them. Because I remember covering court cases at Cass County Court, and my competitor over at WDAY at the time was Mary Jedlicka, amazing woman. We were both really competitive, always trying to get the scoop on each other. But you know what? Then we would go out and have a beer on the weekend because we were friends. You can do that.
Right.
And I think, it's just, you work your hardest and do your best, and then at the end of the day, you need friends and good people in your life, and a lot of times that's what you run into in this business. I just had a wonderful conversation with Al Ahmet this morning, and talking a little bit about, he was our assignment manager over at Valley News Live, and of course, longtime news director at WDAY. Think the world of him. And we were talking about that, about friendships that we make in this business, in TV and radio. They are long-lasting. I think of other jobs I had in Minneapolis, and I don't keep track of some of those people, but TV and radio, I think you go through so much. You cry together, you laugh together, you complain a little bit every once in a while, and then you feel better about it and you move on, and those are the people. I've got some great friends who left the business and are living in other parts of the country, and we are just solid. We just pick up where we left off whenever we reach out. You just make lifelong friends, don't you think?
Yes.
You've got some great friends in this business.
Absolutely, and that's what you do too. We're dropping names here, but a longtime producer at Channel 11 at Valley News Live is Jeff Petrick, and him and his wife both worked, and much beloved. Everybody loved. They were here for a long time, and Petey is his nickname, and he's got such a remarkable personality, just a wonderful guy. Well, I was sending a note to Jeff, somebody else, but it went to Jeff Petrick. You know how you can fat fingers on your... And so I sent him a text. And geez, we started, I'm sorry, Petey, I meant to send this to so-and-so. And then that started a 45-minute back and forth conversation, getting caught up. And he's down in Texas near Houston, by the way. Right.
Yes. In fact, Pam Petrick, his wife, who was also the creative director at KVLY, she reached out the other day on Facebook and said, hey, congrats, you won't regret spending time with your family, just shifting gears. And I'm like, you are so right. Yeah, think the world of them. I remember the first time, I think I was at the station, and Petey was amazing because he was the operations director, but he also came into the studio and would run the cameras too. And he said loud and proud to his staff, and I remember that, like, give those cues loud, be proud, don't be afraid to speak up so the anchors can hear you. Yeah, those two, they're really awesome.
They are awesome, and they've moved around the country and now are in Houston because they're right in between their two girls and their grandkids, which is where they wanted to be. 18 after 4, we're talking to Andrea Larson here. You have somebody who wants to talk to you. It's Jeff from Fargo who's on the line. Hi, Jeff. How are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent, but I am sad to hear about Andrea's departure.
Oh, Jeff!
Do you remember how we worked together in Bismarck?
Yes. You have got the most distinct voice. How would I ever forget you? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, well,
Jeff, tell us who you are, Jeff. I'm not privy to what's going on. Jeff, who's this?
Jeff Alexander.
Hi, Jeffrey. How you doing today?
Pretty good. I'm sad to hear that Andrea is leaving. She is just a gem. I have worked with her for several years in Bismarck at KFYR TV and, of course, K-Fire Radio, and I retired, came here to Fargo to be closer to my kids and grandkids. Lo and behold, there she is, gracing us on TV every night.
How about that?
Jeff, remember you gave me my first taste of, you gave me so much advice through the years, and I wish I valued. Newbie coming into KFYR, and the radio station's right down the hallway, and you just shared all your wise advice with me. But you also gave me my first taste of, what was that horrible black paste from the land down under?
Oh, is that Vegemite you're talking about?
Yes. Yes.
Jeff, did you get a hold of some Vegemite?
I don't remember it, but if Andrea says so, then it's gospel.
Oh, you did. And I think I almost threw up on the spot, but it was, yeah. I don't know how you got your hands on it, but it's not the best memory I have.
Okay, well, we do have some fond memories of working together in Bismarck, I'm sure, and congratulations on that retirement, although I hate to see you leave, but I definitely wish you success in the future.
Hey, Jeff.
What a pro. Yes.
Jeff,
taught me so much through the years.
No doubt. Jeffrey, thanks so much for calling. I was a fan of yours, Jeff. I remember when you were with K-Fire. Big fan of K-Fire.
Yeah, that's
That
spent 30 years there.
Wowie,
So-
Jeff.
Oh.
Well, thank you for calling in.
Okay,
Thank
have
you,
a good
Jeff.
one.
Take care.
That's-
Okay, you take care, Andrea.
Gosh, that's awful nice of Jeff to
Bye-bye.
call in. That's really cool. Hey, we're running out of time, Andrea, but I wanted to ask you, I wanted to get everybody on the same page as far as the etymology of your career. Where'd you go to school? How'd you get started? And how'd you end up here? Give us your resume real quick.
UND, graduated, moved to the city, decided I wanted to go into broadcasting. Brown Institute, now it's called Brown College. Worked with some amazing people. You know, at the time, radio personalities were instructors there, so I got the best of the best. There were just a couple of us wanting to go in TV, so I moved back here with my husband at the time to get into broadcasting.
And
Started at KFYR.
Okay. In Bismarck, that led you to Fargo?
Yeah, well, I made a couple stops. I stopped in Minot also, but Dick Height at KFYR, a great guy, gave me my first job. I'll always be so grateful to him.
Uh-huh.
And then yes, with the Bismarck and Minot stops, then came to Fargo, and worked with Charlie Johnson, who's another amazing person, and Jim Shaw over at Fox. So many amazing people that I've worked with through the years.
Well, you'll have to stay in touch and let us know where you end up and what you're going to be doing. But for the meantime, sitting on the deck on a sunny day in Fargo reading a book sounds perfect.
Yeah. Call me whenever you need to fill some time. I'm here.
Well, you've got a date there. Andy Larson, walking away a little bit, not from work, but from the broadcasting world, going to be spending evenings at home with her family from this point on. And we're proud of you, Andrea. But boy, you had a great career on television broadcasting, Andrea, and we wish you nothing but the best moving forward.
Thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate it.
You bet. Have a wonderful afternoon. Dive back into that book.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya. Andrea Larson today, who has announced she's leaving broadcasting. Her final day was already on Friday. I was like you. I thought she had a couple of weeks left before she was going to be done. If I'd have known that, I would have been tuning in to the final broadcast on Friday. But Andy, going to be going into public relations. We'll watch for her and see what she's going to be doing. KFGO time is 4:23. You're listening to The Drive on the Mighty 790 and 104.7 KFGO.
You're listening to The Drive with Dan Michaels.
I guess